Someone's calling. Welcome, Chris.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and esteemed judges, back in the 90s, there was a movie that came out called The Matrix. Now, many people thought The Matrix was a super science fiction movie that had a guy dodging bullets, and they failed to see the undercurrents and the meaning of life within that movie. The movie was about a man named Neo. Now, Neo always felt there was something wrong with his life. There was something going on he wasn't quite getting. But one night he received the most important phone call of his life that led him on a path to a man called Morpheus. Morpheus offered Neo two options. Option A, he could take the red pill and wake up to his true calling and his true potential in life. Or option B, he could take the blue pill and go back to sleep, like the way they felt the rest of humanity was, as sages have said since the beginning of time. Well, today, I'm here to offer each and every one of us the red pill. I'm going to talk to you about how to find your calling in life. There are a couple of points I'm going to make. The first one is, if you look at your lives as a puzzle and put the pieces together, you'll see that your calling has been speaking to you since you were a child. It has been whispering to you and guiding you in search of the Holy Grail, in search of the ring. That's why you joined Toastmasters. Your calling was speaking to you. Case in point, my earliest memory is being of 4 years of age. At 4 years of age, I was a scrap little guy, always running around, getting into trouble, getting spankings from my mom. I recall one incident. I was in the bathtub with my older brother Garvin, taking a bath. He had our only toy, but I had this wonderful imagination. I took the ivory soap, because that's what we had back then, if you recall, and I made it into a super battleship. And there I was playing my battleship. All of a sudden, I realized I had to use the bathroom. I looked at the toilet, I looked at my battleship, getting back to my brother Garvin. I knew if I got in that tub, my brother Garvin would do something heinous to my battleship. I didn't want to play with it anymore. So what did I do? I stood up, and I went right there. My brother Garvin, screaming, ran down the hall. I stood there waiting for doom to come. Doom came in, 5'10", towering black steel. My mother. My mother came in carrying an extension cord, swung it at me. Shoo! Skin disappeared and blood dripped down. I screamed, I jumped out of the tub, I ran and cowered next to the toilet as she began to beat me until I couldn't cry anymore. From the age of 4 to the age of 15, by modern standards, I was physically abused, verbally abused, mentally abused. I was told I wasn't tall enough to my little brother who's 6'8". I was told I wasn't smart enough. I was told I wasn't light-skinned enough to meet my own grandfather. I was told, until I was 15, I couldn't be told anymore, and I stood up and became a man. I've had to crawl, I've had to scratch my way to become the man that I am today, to learn to overcome my obstacles in life. I used to stutter really badly as a kid. I was so shy that I couldn't even talk to girls. You must know me. To become the man that I am today, I've had to learn to overcome my obstacles. And if I look at the pieces of the puzzle of my life, that was my calling speaking, overcome obstacles. The next point I want to make is a calling doesn't have to be this big world-saving event like Mother Teresa. As Martin Luther King said, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Case in point, bums have always been a special irritation to me. They always come up and ask me, "Want change?" So I'll look at them and say, "What? What change we have to the way things are?" I'll give that a moment. Then I was sidestepping. Well, one day I was out behind my house, going to my car, and I saw this elderly African-American gentleman digging in the trash. And I thought to myself, wow, what happened to this guy at the end of his days that he had to dig in the trash? Then I realized he came before the dream. The dream I'm talking about was when Martin Luther King said, I have a dream today. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day grow up in a nation who will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I am the product of that dream, one of the first children out there. I've opened my own business in 1989, body sculpting by Chris, as many people in the audience know. I've been successful ever since. A few years ago, I started a TV show called Spirit Quest, how to search for your passion in life. I recently opened up 2 websites, 7minuteabs.com, too busy, 4minuteabs.com. And radio, I just started a podcast for guys to teach them how to meet girls. It's one of the things I overcame. So I've overcome all my obstacles, but this poor gentleman, he was raised in a time period before African Americans had equal rights to get an education. So there he was at the end of his days, digging in the trash. So I did something I never did. I reached in my pocket, and I pulled out $1. And I walked over to give it to him. And he was so busy digging in the trash, he didn't see me come. And he startled as I got near him. And it reminded me of when I was 4 years of age. My heart broke, and he saw the $1 bill in my hands. He reached out and he grabbed my hands. And this man who had nothing blessed me. I have everything. I have a nice car, I have a nice job. He actually blessed me. I felt so bad. I went back to my car and I sat there for 10 minutes with tears coming down my eyes. And I'm a strong man. My little brother passed away, 6'8" one, in August. And I spoke at his funeral. I took it like a man. But this man broke me down and made me realize there's more to life than what I was living. I sat there until the words from the Bible, feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime, came into my head. I turned on my car, I slammed that car in reverse, and I screeched down to the store. I bought 3 buckets. I bought 3 bottles of Windex, and I bought 3 squeegees. Then I made up 3 signs with the help of my girlfriend, because my writing is not that good, that said, wash windows, 50 cents. Help me to help myself. And I began to go around and look for people to help overcome their obstacles, because that's my calling. Now, if my words have touched you, raise your hands. You are the people that I'm going to speak to next, because your calling has been speaking to you. So I'm going to leave you with these final words from an ancient Cherokee saying that says, when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice.